Good morning. This is a video on how to replace your pump basket kit from the Liberty Pumps Ascent to macerating toilet system. There are no videos or instructions on how to replace your pump basket kit anywhere online. Customer service, don't even bother. So here's what you do. It took about 4.5 hours for me to do it. It can be done. You have to first disconnect your toilet. So that's the tank and the bowl. Make sure you drain whatever fluid is in the bowl and the tank. Once those are out of the way, you will have just your containment tank sitting in front of you. I suggest wearing a mask and gloves, obviously. And there should be no liquid, or there will be some liquid in the bottom of the containment tank. That's normal, from what I've heard and from what I've read. It's okay for there to be some liquid. If it's empty, completely empty, then totally, that's totally fine. Don't worry about if it's, totally empty, or if there's a little bit of liquid. That's the point here. If it's full, however, then obviously there's a problem with the pump, and that needs to be replaced. So here's how to do it. Once you have your tank and the bowl out of the way, and your containment tank is completely accessible, you have to remove all of those Phillips head screws. I want to say there's at least 8, maybe 10, that go all the way around the gray casing on the containment tank. Once those are out, then you have to take apart the waste pipe, which is usually the 1.25 inch pipe, if you follow the instructions, and your vent pipe, which is the 1.5 inch pipe. Take those off completely, disconnect them, remove them away from the containment tank. Anything else that's attached to the containment tank also should be removed at this time. Once all of that is done, you are going to see the basket completely clear, that you can access it now. There's also a waste hose that you should probably remove if it has not been removed. It's held on by a hose clamp. So either use a flathead screwdriver or a nut driver, a handheld nut driver, to remove that. Take that, just leave it in the tank. You don't have to actually take that and remove it away from the work site. Just move it out of your way so that you can now lift that whole basket up and out. However, it is still attached to the containment tank. Don't remove it and walk away. It's still attached to your containment tank by a black cable. There is a black cable that goes to your control panel, which is this. That black cable will now need to be removed from the old pump basket that you're going to be replacing. Here's where it gets a little difficult. That black cable cord is a neoprene plug. It is jammed in there. It's designed to be jammed in there so that it's sealed properly so that no water can get down in there. You have to now take a long flathead screwdriver and carefully and evenly rock that up and out and off the old basket. So while you are pressing the flathead screwdriver in with one hand, you have to take your other hand, hold on to the cord, and evenly rock that plug up and out and away from the old basket. Once that's done, now you can remove your old basket and throw it out. Obviously, it's not going to be working for you. If the razor blades are relatively sharp, then you can probably retain them, because that's a special blade. There are 2 holes that you will see in the blades. Well, if you were going to keep them, there's a little nut that holds them in place. So you take that off, and there's a black cap that comes off to expose those blades. If those blades are usable, retain them for future use. You're supposed to switch those blades out, I believe, every 6 to 12 months if needed. I've never needed to, because they're always sharp and I check them consistently. So once that's all done, you can now put your new basket in. Make sure that new basket goes into the track in the containment tank. There are 2 tracks. One in the back, one in the front. That basket has to sit in that track so you can slide it to the left and slide it to the right. If you can't do that, then it's not seated properly, and you need to make sure that it is. Then make sure you reconnect your hose, your waste hose, once it's, both to the basket and to the waste pipe. Otherwise, you have to start all over. And that's not a fun process, believe me, because, you won't know if it's working until you have it all connected back up and plugged in. So, going back to the plug, however, when you put the plug into the new pump basket kit, before you do that, get yourself some silicone spray. Spray the plug, spray the inside of the unit that's going to be receiving the plug, so that it's a little bit easier. Now, use a plastic paintbrush handle would be perfect. That worked great for me, because it gives enough access to apply pressure, because you're going to need to apply pressure. Make sure that the holes line up with those prongs in the basket, where the power cord's going to go back. Otherwise, if you puncture that plug, you're done. You're going to have to replace the whole control board. And at that point, you might as well just buy the whole unit, because the control board, it's like $66 on supplyhouse.com, which is where I got the basket kit that I'm talking about. But by the time you're all done, you might as well just forget it and buy the whole unit. I'm trying to save you guys from having to do that. Be prepared to take about 4 to 4.5 hours to do this if you've never done it before, because it's not a simple process. It's not at all. All they tell you in the manual and online, from what I was able to see, how to take that cord out is there's a black compression nut on top of the basket power supply, and you just unscrew that, and then there you go. No, it's not that simple. You have to do some work, and you can't be in a rush. If you're in a rush, you're going to make a mistake, and that'll be that. You'll be dead in the water. So hopefully this talk through helped you a little bit. I didn't think to take a video as I was doing it, because I was in a rush trying to get my bathroom back together. But there you are, Liberty Pumps Ascent to Macerating System, how to repair or replace your pump basket kit. Thank you.